The House of Public Discourse provides daily reporting of progressive news, progressive commentary, progressive talk shows, cultural issues, environmental issues, and foreign policy matters. We will be providing original grassroots reporting daily on issues concerning cultural issues like racism and others. Our House of Public Discourse contributors are unapologetic progressive activists from many diverse backgrounds. We will be featuring grassroots progressive content from progressive content creators from around the world. We cover local news, national news, and news from abroad. The House of Public Discourse is an area in social media where people can discuss societal issues and problems, and through that discussion influence political action. Welcome to the House of Public Discourse Progressive News Network.
Hello, I'm Amanda Braxton, desk reporter for the all-new House of Public Discourse Radio.com. Join House founder Johnny Hill and friends. Discuss current events inside our House forum on Facebook.
Hello, I am Ramblin' Rose, your desk reporter for the all-new House of Public Discourse Radio.com. With the 2020 presidential race coming into view, myself, along with the House staff, will take a comprehensive look into the current 2020 electorate makeup. Welcome to the House, where our house is your house. The 2020 elections are right around the corner. So are the voters who'll decide its fate. Demographic changes happen gradually. It's already clear that 2020 will be a unique election. Minorities will account for a third of eligible voters, a record high, driven by long-term growth especially among Hispanics. At the same time, 1 in 10 eligible voters will be in Generation Z, the 18 to 23-year-olds in the United States. That will occur as millennials and all other older generations account for a smaller share of eligible voters than they did in 2016. What are the political implications of these demographic shifts? In 2016, non-white voters were more likely than white voters to back Democrat Hillary Clinton, while white voters tended to support Republican Donald Trump. Younger generations, meanwhile, differ significantly from older generations in their views on key social and political issues. It remains unclear whether these patterns will play a role in the 2020 election. As is often the case, turnout will be the crucial factor. For the first time, there will be more Hispanic than Black eligible voters.
That's right, Ramblin' Rose. Hello, I am Amanda Braxton, a research consultant with the all-new House of Public Discourse Radio.com. Our research here in the House finds that the 2020 election will mark the first time that Hispanics will be the largest racial or ethnic minority group in the electorate, accounting for just over 13% of eligible voters, slightly more than Blacks. This change reflects the gradual, but continuous growth in the Hispanic share of eligible voters, up from 9% in the 2008 state presidential election and 7% in the 2000 election. The Black eligible voter population has grown about as fast as the electorate overall, meaning their share has held constant at about 12% since 2000.
In 2020, nearly a quarter of the electorate, 23%, will be ages 65 and older. The highest such share since at least 1970. This reflects not only the maturation of the large baby boom generation, but also increased life expectancy among older Americans. Baby boomers and older generations, who will be ages 56 and older next year, are expected to account for fewer than 4 in 10 eligible voters in 2020. This is a significant change from 2000. When nearly 7 in 10 eligible voters, 68%, were boomers. Silents or members of the greatest generation, collectively, those ages 36 and older at the time. Even as recently as 2012, when the youngest boomer was 48 years old. Boomer and older generations were about half of the electorate, 49%.
The next presidential election will also mark the first time that millennials, who will be aged 24 to 39 in 2020, will account for a slightly smaller share of the electorate than they represented in the last presidential election. Hi, I'm Addie Conklin, writer for the all-new House of Public Discourse Radio.com. The raw number of millennials eligible to vote is increasing due to foreign-born millennials naturalizing to become citizens. But, however, the millennial share of the electorate has peaked as they are not growing as fast as the electorate overall. Meanwhile, the leading edge of Generation Z, people ages 18 to 23 in 2020, is projected to comprise 1 in 10 eligible voters, up from just 4% in 2016, when the vast majority were too young to cast ballots. These post-millennials are on track to be more racially and ethnically diverse than their predecessors. In 2020, Gen Z eligible voters are expected to be 55% white and 45% non-white, including 21% Hispanic, 14% Black, and 4% Asian or Pacific Islander. By comparison, the boomer and older electorate is projected to be about 3/4 white, 74%.
Hello, everybody. My name is Johnny Virtual Hill. Our source of information comes from the Pew Research Center. Tells us something we already knew. Turnout nonetheless makes a difference. One should bear in mind that generational differences ought to be considered, as election time is upon us. Since older adults have a greater tendency to vote, it may be the case that older generations will form a larger share of actual voters in 2020. That was when their share of the electorate. That occurred in 2016. Baby boomers and older generations, accounting for 43% of eligible voters, they cast 49% of the ballots.